Well, hello, and welcome to another week of Burning Hearts, our 2026 Bible reading plan. This week we are kicking off the Gospel of Luke, and it is, for as much as I truly do love the Old Testament and the Torah and what we've read and talked about in Leviticus and Numbers and Deuteronomy, you can't beat the Gospels. And so I'm excited to get back into the Gospel of Luke. Luke is an amazing gospel. It begins unlike any other gospel. This is how it begins. Since many have undertaken to compile a narrative about the events that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed on to us by those who from the beginning were eyewitnesses and servants of the word. And so what he's saying there is that there's a lot of different stories about Jesus going around. There's a lot of good accounts of Jesus. And the best ones are the ones that were handed down by the eyewitnesses, and that is the men and women who actually were there with Jesus, people like Peter, people like John, and these servants of the word. These were the apostles. He said, I too, because I have a really good grasp of what this is all about. I have a grasp of everything from the start. I'm going to write a well-ordered account for you, Theophilus, which is, it's a Greek name, and it means God lover. It could be a real person, or it could be kind of like a symbol of anyone who wants to love God. It probably was a real person, though, probably who actually paid Luke to spend some time putting together the very best account of Jesus you can. And so I get the impression when I read the Gospel of Luke, he definitely had a copy of Mark's Gospel. He probably was familiar with, if not had a copy of Matthew's Gospel, maybe. He probably at least knew Matthew, or knew the stories of Matthew, or knew someone who knew Matthew. And then it seems like he also was in touch with Paul also, and had some interactions with Paul. And so Luke's account of the Gospel, the story of Jesus, is really well put together. It's really well researched. It is solid. It's documented, and it's such a brilliant and beautiful account. He begins the gospel by doing two things. One is by rooting it in history. He gives names of rulers and people who you could put dates on. This isn't some timeless story. This is something that happened in real history. He also roots the story of Jesus so deeply in the Old Testament narrative. He begins with these two different birth narratives, the one of John the Baptist and the one of Jesus, of course. And each of the stories have so many reflections and echoes of the Old Testament. Like John the Baptist's parents, for instance, Zechariah and Elizabeth, they were like a couple of old people who couldn't have a kid. It's the story of Abraham and Sarah, basically. And so he is giving us all these links back to the Old Testament, because he is saying that this Jesus, who the gospel will be about, he is the continuation, the completion, he is the fulfillment of this Old Testament story. One of the most interesting things about Luke's gospel is that he gives this genealogy of Jesus, which, let's be honest, it's the kind of thing we don't really read too much about, but it is a genealogy that gets traced all the way back to Adam, through the line of David, through Abraham, and all the way back to Adam. And this is a subtle way of Luke telling us from the beginning what this story is about, this Jesus. It's not just for the people of Israel, not just for the people of Abraham, but it goes all the way back to the people of Adam, which is all people. It's why this is good news for all the people, right? That's from the Christmas announcement from the angels and the shepherds. And so this is just awesome. He is filled with Old Testament, not in direct quotes, but in sort of indirect quotes, especially the book of Isaiah, especially like the second and third sections of Isaiah. It is rich with all these overtones and allusions back to that. It's wonderful. He starts off really after Jesus is baptized with this unique scene in the 4th chapter of Luke, where he goes back to a synagogue in his hometown and he stands up and says, "This is what my ministry is all about. Good news to the poor," which, good good news to the poor, which is good news to all of the downtrodden, downcast, out of luck, outcast people. That's what that is. Release to the captives, sight to the blind, oppressed go free, year of the Lord's favor, which is a callback to the Jubilee. And then he begins to, he gets some pushback for that, Jesus does, as in people want to kill him, because he says this is not just going to be good news for Israel, it's going to be good news for the entire world. And then you start to see these stories that Luke has laid out, which is Jesus actually doing this sort of thing. He is healing people who are sick. He is healing people who are cast out. He is welcoming in tax collectors who wouldn't have been welcomed elsewhere. And this is what the Gospel of Luke is all about. At the very end of the Gospel, which I talked about on Easter actually, he has that scene in after the resurrection of Emmaus, and he talks about how Jesus tells those apostles how the entire story of Moses and the prophets, the Old Testament, it all points to him. It's all about him. And so you can read the Gospel of Luke going forward, looking at how all of these stories of Jesus are all fulfilling, expanding. They're all kind of the climax of the story of the Old Testament. Gospel of Luke is amazing. It's awesome. It's definitely a top 4 gospel for me. I can never decide which one I like the best, but I love it. And I just want to encourage you, read it, get excited about it, sit with it, let it hit you, come under it and let it speak to you in new ways. Let it challenge your faith, your life, your idea of God, your idea of who you are, your idea of what it means to follow Jesus. Let it make all kinds of wild promises to you, because the Gospel of Luke is filled with them. Let the gospel call you on the path of following Jesus. All right, have a great week of reading. Please come talk to me, ask me questions. I'd love to hear it. And check out the Bible Project on the Gospel of Luke. It's amazing.